In the modern era, men and women are at odds. In 2025, this is a problem because it is causing a birth rate decline, and there is no obvious solution because no one truly understands the cause and thus the problem. I am not a feminist in the sense of theoretical practice, but I do support women, so I could say I am in theory a feminist. However, what I must denote about the idea is that trying to conform women's freedom to a regimented ideology itself seems counterproductive to the entire initiative. If feminism was originally founded as a social movement for women's freedom, then it has subsequently become regressive towards its own cause by virtue of the suppression for women's choice to live what is called now the trad wife or traditional wife modality. Collective ideas have Congress to agree that a woman's freedom is paramount until she decides to use it to succeed a traditional heteronormative modal, whereupon her mate is selected by the fantasy or reality of desiring to be rescued. How can this philosophy possibly acclaim women's freedom when it condemns one of the valid avenues of its expression? If originally feminism was about freeing women socially and economically from men, it has succeeded at that. So why must it continue to evolve and adapt if the original goals have been met? Let us examine how this fails society in the gaming world. Recently, it has become a sticking point among who we can generalize as leftist, usually woke and extremist ideologue, who believes that any sexualization of any woman equals objectification, and thus subjugation. However, this contradicts feminism's original claim to freeing women. If by virtue of retro-puritanical regression, we thereby forbid women from expressing themselves, potentially to the danger of objectification, for the purposes of their freedom. Essentially, gaming has been given a difficult question. If we truly want to equalize gaming as a medium between men and women, of both enjoyment and expression, then it should be as valid of women audiences to embrace, love, and even idolize sexually empowered and attractive characters. After all, denying them this is denying feminism's original aim to free women from the control of others, including other women. Thus we ask, what is true feminism? Telling other women how to be or what to wear, or allowing them to on the basis of their choice and freedom? I leave you with the obvious solution, but it purports the idea forth that some women cannot express their sexual identity on the basis it conflicts with the demands of another. A woman who desires to be desired is not desired by feminist ideology, because from what I gather, this disempowers her by placing the power dynamics advantage in the man's hands. If this is not tolerable to feminism, if a woman actively desired and chose this outcome from free will, modern feminism will tell you it's because she has an ingrained bias against herself that manifests as subconscious self-afflicting misogyny. The modern feminist is trying to deconstruct the woman's desire to be desired sexually into a form of control whereupon her identity is dictated by the greater group of women around her, who ultimately decide what that woman's worth is based on her coherence to the group's established dynamics. So we see that what began as a liberationist movement devolves into another modal of control over women. Only this time, feminism is not a tool women are using to liberate themselves from men. Rather, the tool is what women now need liberation from. Men are, by default, powerless to assist, because we cannot sexualize women nor desire them without violation of autonomy or dignity. Nor can we walk away on the basis it satisfies the expectation men are of no help. So it is a situation no one wins. Women who seek a traditional role are relegated as regressive, and men who desire such women likewise. For modern feminism has denied the path of princesses being rescued by princes on horseback from dragons. Modern feminism says, "Bitch, no prince is coming. Here's your sword. Go kill your own dragon." While this is bleakly more realistic, it also robs women of the fantasy that something could contradict the reality. It also robs men of the fantasy of saving said princess, slaying said dragon, and earning the happy ending both parties desire and through the same avenue. So, irrespective of whether or not you puritanically believe women's sexuality should always be forbidden, or that they should not have autonomy to sexual expression and identification, what we can call into question is this. If a woman desires to be desired, and asks, "Who are you to stop me?" why does the philosophy that originally told her yes now tell her no to the same question?